thank you so much for really a great film. I saw it at the Berlinale, so I heard a part of your real Q&A after the film. But maybe for the audience who cannot ask the questions, I will try to ask some of them. Maybe first of all, if you can tell the story, how it all started, how you came across these tapes and these recordings, and yeah, that would be the first question.
Hi, thank you for having me, and it's so moving to me that the film is selected for your prestigious festival and for Free Zone. So I came to the recordings after a screening of my previous film 7 years ago in 2014 in New York. A man came to me and he asked me if I have more research material of the correspondence between Heinrich Himmler and Albert Šper. And I told him yes, and he wanted to meet the next day. I had a very busy schedule. So it took 8 months before I met with him. And when I met with him, he told me about this 1971 Paramount project that started and was never finished. And he asked me to reach out to the scriptwriter, to Andrew Birkin, to know more. So it took another 3 months because I didn't want any Nazis in my life anymore. And I realized that it's about Albert Šper and that it's a story that I won't probably be able to say no to. So I went to Wales, I went to meet Andrew, and Andrew told me that he recorded his 3 months conversations with Albert Šper. So after 5 minutes, he pushed play and the rest is history. It was when I heard Albert Šper in English, it was obvious to me that this is the new project and this is the next film.
I can imagine that it was a very complicated process to find the story, or to find also the images, and to make all these decisions about how will you tell this story with this audio. You didn't use the actual audio in the film. Is it true?
Yes, obviously the quality of the sound is in the film cannot be the quality of cassettes. It was recorded almost 50 years ago on cassettes, which is the lowest audio quality that exists. 20 years ago, Andrew digitized the cassettes in order to preserve something, but the quality was extremely, extremely poor. And in order to have a 90-minute film based on those audio, it was just impossible to use. Because if it was 2 minutes of the film, then it would be nice. But in order to have 95 minutes, it's impossible to use. So the process was, as you say, very complicated and very long, because at first we had to, Tomer, the sound designer, had to clean everything. And then I, with another 2 researchers, we transcribed everything. And we had back and forth with Andrew, because there are so many parts that are unclear. If he remembers something, if he understands a word that we don't. So this was the process. Once we had the transcription, Joël, the editor, and me, we started to write the story and to complete the missing parts in order to have, a round and full story of 90 minutes. What guided us was everything in the audio, in the narration, is meant to have us reveal who Albert Šper was in his own words. So every question that serves that goal is in the film, because there are so many parts that, are so, like in every film, you have to make choices and to decide what you leave out and what you keep in. So our guideline was to everything that serves the purpose of having Albert Šper undisclosed himself. This is what is in the film. And then, of course, once we had the script, then it was to narrow the visual, because in parallel we did the visual research, and then we narrowed the visual research to either to contradict or to support the text. And again, the aim of the visual part is to undiscover Albert Šper.
So some of the material that was in it was from his promotional tour for this book, Inside the Third Reich. And there are also some kind of like family footage with his children. And so was it from US archives, from German archives, or where did it come from?
The promotional tour comes from America, England, from the BBC, from Germany, from France, for example, from all over the world. And the home videos, his family home videos were given to the German Kinemathek in Berlin and to us by his daughter, Margarete Nissen. Her name is in the roller of the film. So thanks to her, we had access to his home videos.
And also you used some of the film footage from Murnau, from Faust, with this Mephistopheles story. This is very interesting, these interventions that you did. Why did you decide to do this? I mean, one part is obvious, but can you tell a bit about this?
Yeah, it's interesting that you're asking that, because most of the people during the film, they said that it's so obvious, so it's one-on-one. But I think that my message was very deep, and it comes to me at least, it raises the question, who is the devil? Is Adolf Hitler the devil? Yes, he is, but is Albert Šper only attracted by the devil, or is Albert Šper kind of a devil himself? So this is it's not even a subtext. It fits so well, in my eyes. It's so accurate, and when they are embracing each other and looking, at the whole world, it's exactly like Albert Šper and Adolf Hitler were looking above, Germany, Germania, the greater Germany that they wanted to build.
Yeah, and also what struck me is also the musical score. I mean, the music, and so can you tell us a bit about this? How did you choose? What kind of music is that? Is it the score?
The original score was written by Frank Ilfman, who is just amazing, and his cooperation with Tomer, the sound designer, and with me, it was a very long process, because usually the music in a documentary is not is more background music. In this film, it is a real life score that Frankie wrote and then we recorded. But the challenge here and the difference here is that instead of serving the image, the music is in most of the scenes serving the text, Albert Šper. So when Šper is in those ego trips, then the music becomes bigger and bigger, because it's reflecting Albert Šper's mind. And this is what we try to do, is to give the viewer the experience that he is there, not that he's looking at a film from the side. As you know, there are no talking heads in the film, no external narration. It's really to give the viewer the feeling that he's there, and to leave him to think what he wants to think, to leave him with questions. I don't think that a film shall answer all the questions. And this is why we went with a strong score and with no talking heads and no external narration.
You traveled a few festivals already with the film and got awards. And how was the reaction of the audience?
Well, the reaction of the audience for the moment is amazing. We had the Telluride Film Festival, the Jerusalem Film Festival. We were in Budapest, in Miskolc, and now the release in America. So there are not so many people who saw the film yet, not in so many countries, but the reactions from the countries that with people that saw the film are extremely strong, positive. People are really caught by the film. They feel uncomfortable. Almost everyone is making the parallel to, to fundamental questions that in every country we have today. The question of fake news, the question of manipulation, the question of politicians using media outlets to serve their aim, the question of justice, the juridical system in every country. So the reactions are really good, and I'm very curious what the reactions will be in Belgrade. Very, very curious.
Yeah, we have, I mean, in general, but in Serbia also, but also in Germany, there is this question, and also all around the world, as you say, there's this question of historical revisionism and how the past, I mean, there is less and less survivors of the Holocaust, and, the question how to keep the memory on what has happened and not to let it be changed by a certain circles and people and movements that are rising. So this is really, I think the film is really important, but can you tell us about your position on this?
I agree with you. It's, to rewrite history, to revise history. There are people, like Albert Šper, for example, who they have a personal interest in rewriting history. And then there are those groups of people who would like to rewrite history because they are racist, because they are anti-Semite, because they hate the other. In the case of Šper, it was to serve his own aim, because this is the only thing that interested Albert Šper, and he wanted to be remembered in history as the good Nazi, which is to me, you cannot put the good and Nazi in the same sentence, because either you're a Nazi or you're a good person. Even though things are not black and white, you cannot be a good Nazi. So for him, the aim was to whitewash his past and to clear his name and to appear in a Hollywood adaptation of his book as the good guy.
Yeah, he was also very vain. This is really clear in his own words. But when he was released from the prison, that he was like, told the journalists, "Oh, I still look well after 20 years." So this kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is the kind of man he was. It is in the end of the film. You can see it. So
yeah.
With the editor, we were, for a big part of the editing, for a long time of the editing, the Spandau release scene was in the beginning, in order to give the viewer some background. But then we put it in the end, and it made it exactly what it is. It made it Machiavellic. If you didn't have enough for 90 minutes, here you have this
on top of
Nazi,
everything.
this man who comes out of prison, and not only he says that he looks good, he does look good. I mean, how can someone spend 20 years in prison and look that good? Only this horrible human being like Albert Šper. It's mind-blowing to me.
And do you know, I mean, there wasn't still or the release in the US. It's coming now.
It's now. We are now. Yeah. We are talking. We opened in New York on last Friday on the 29th, and it's running in the Film Forum, and we are opening in Los Angeles on Friday, November 5th, and then San Francisco, and hopefully more.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask if some of his family, maybe Hilda Schramm or someone else saw the film in Berlin?
Not yet. His son unfortunately passed away, Albert Šper Jr., whom we had a good relation with. He passed away in a car accident a few months before COVID. And his two daughters, they didn't come to Berlin because they don't live in Berlin. But in 2 weeks, we are releasing in Germany. And I really hope that they will come and see the film either in Munich or in Hamburg or wherever they will be. I really do hope they will see the film.
Okay, so thank you very much for the opportunity that we get to see the film, that our audience got to see the film before premiere in Germany and parallel to the opening in the US. I wish you a lot of luck with the film, and I wish really that a lot of people get to see this and think about this, and also to talk about not only the things in film, but its implications in the present day of this using the media to these kind of purposes of either whitewashing or giving the false informations and the fake news in order to get some political goals. Yeah, what they want. Thank you so much. Yeah, for that.
Thank you, and thank you to all of you who came to see the film on the big screen. Thank you.